The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. W's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by W, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. W's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/discount/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. W Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com. Good morning. It is the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. We are hanging out with you here on a Thursday morning. It is Juneteenth. Hope that everyone is having themselves a fantastic day. We are live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Instagram, and of course over on Roku with National Streaming Sports. Shout outs to our friends over at National Streaming Sports. You could have caught on, or if you get on there earlier, you can catch the Mac and Jack show showing Sonia Pearson doing a great job over there. Of course, TGI Sports with Keith Angle a little bit later on today, 10 o'clock Central or Mountain Time. Let me do that again. 10 o'clock Mountain Time, 12 o'clock Eastern Time. Our dude, Bo Crouch, will be doing his show as well a little bit later on today, as a matter of fact. 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern. Our guy, Beastrilla, One Ass Cheek, Three Toes, will be doing the No BS podcast. Or the No BS show a little bit later on today. So check that out. Go follow, subscribe. I will be sharing out the links on my Facebook page, all that good stuff. Hope everyone's having themselves a great day. Happy Juneteenth to you as well, Beastrilla. Just whenever you think it's going to be one of those days where there's nothing to talk about in the world of sports, you go and you find, like, life gives you something, right? And yesterday, that's exactly what life did. They give you the LA Lakers being sold for $10 million. $10 million or billion dollars for the LA Lakers being sold. To sell the LA Lakers for $10 billion. According to ESPN, the Buss family is entering into agreement that will sell the majority ownership of the Los Angeles Lakers to Mark Walter for a franchise evaluation of approximately $10 billion. Sources told ESPN on Wednesday, the highest ever for a U.S. professional sports franchise. The Buss family will keep a minority share of the team, just over 15% for a period of time, a source said. In addition, Jeannie Buss will remain the Lakers' governor and continue to run the team for at least a number of years, according to sources with knowledge of the deal. They told ESPN's Ramona Shelburne it is guaranteed as a part of the agreement that Buss will remain in charge for the foreseeable future, and Walter fully endorses this plan, according to sources. Walter, the CEO and chairman of diversified holding company TWG Global, has been a stakeholder in the Lakers since 2021 and purchased a 26% share that also allowed him to receive the right of first refusal on the majority share of the team. $10 billion for the LA Lakers. I see my dude Bill Kuhn tuning in. Thank you so much, Bill, for being a part of today's show. $10 billion for the LA Lakers. And it makes me wonder here, with the LA Lakers, one, now they finally have themselves an ownership group that has a little more, I'd say a lot more, money to be able to spend in free agency, be able to create different types of free agent plans. You can like start to deferring money and payments like that, kind of like what you're doing with Shohei Ohtani. I feel like that's going to be the route that the NBA is going to wind up taking over the next couple of years. Bistro saying the Knicks talking about giving a tsunami of money to acquire the Greek Freak. It would have to take a lot more than just money to get Giannis Antetokounmpo. Augustine Pimentel saying that's a chunk of change. And the important thing is, what is the payment structure? And the Buss family applies schmuck insurance. So that is so important. Tommy Canassa saying, good morning, Phils. Good morning to you, Tommy. Hope that you're having yourself a fantastic day. The LA Lakers, once again, selling for $10 billion. That's a wild amount of money. And of course, like this is the thing that I was trying to explain a little bit earlier today about like sports franchises is you don't make a ton of money off of the sports franchise. Now, obviously, you get the TV deal, you get a couple of other things, you get things like that. But for the most part, owning a franchise doesn't get you any money, at least not like the real money you want, until you sell that franchise. Because the question that was asked was, how do you sell the LA Lakers? Like, why would you sell the LA Lakers if you're Jeannie Buss in the family? Why would you do that? And the answer to that for me is it's $10 billion. Richie saying, good morning, sir. I hope the Spurs don't touch either Giannis or KD. We have a good young core, and getting rid of Castle or heck, even Shohan would suck. I love the sound of adding Dylan Harper. I think Dylan Harper, the second overall pick, I think that would be great for the Spurs. I'm also, as a Spurs fan, I don't want Kevin Durant. I don't think the window for the Spurs to win is this season anyway. I want to see them continue to build this team out. Good young talent. Victor Wembanyama, Stephon Castle. I like Jeremy Sohan. I know a lot of people don't like Jeremy Sohan for whatever reason. It's weird to me that they don't like him. That someone was talking to me a few weeks ago about it, that he's a terrible player. He's this and that. He can't shoot from three. Shoots 29% from three. It's about average in the NBA. He's not a three-point shooter. The Spurs don't ask him to be a three-point shooter. I don't want the San Antonio Spurs to get Giannis or Kevin Durant, but if they did, I'd still be happy. With Kevin Durant, I don't think you win a championship this season or the next season. With Giannis, at least I can say you're closer to winning a championship than you would be with Kevin Durant. You're closer with Giannis than you are with Kevin Durant. Augustine saying, so in 2024, the Lakers were worth $6 billion. How did they go from 6 to 10? Because you are worth whatever someone's willing to pay for you. That's simple. You are worth that value. Someone says, we'll pay you this much money, you're not going to turn down that kind of money. And that group, that ownership group, must have really wanted the LA Lakers for that amount of money. TWG Global must have really wanted the LA Lakers for that kind of money. They have interest in the LA Dodgers, the LA Sparks, Chelsea, a professional women's hockey league, and TWG Motorsports. So they have a whole ton, a whole ton of sports that they're already in. And you can see the evaluation, right? Like the TV deals are going to come up in the next couple of years with the NBA. You're going to get more there. There's all the talk about expanding too. So then once you expand, the franchises gain a little more value as well. So that could be part of what it is. Richie saying Jeremy Sohan is not flashy, and this TikTok microwave generation, my generation, are addicted to flashy these days. He does his job, and he does his job well. And that was what I was trying to say to this individual that was arguing with me back and forth about the San Antonio Spurs. I watch way too many San Antonio Spurs games. Remember, I watch the G League. That's how much I love watching basketball. I watch the draft combine and all that stuff. That's how much I love watching basketball. I've seen what Jeremy Sohan is. Like he's a great player for what he does. He's a glue guy. He's again, he might have a peak where he averages like 15 points a game. That's fine. That's what you want. We just saw Desmond Bane get traded a couple of weeks ago or a couple of days ago for 4 first-round draft picks averaging 19 points a game. It's wild to me. Tommy Cananta saying the reason why the Lakers went from $6 billion to $10 billion, inflation, baby. It's all my fault. I always trip out because every now and then, like I'll do those voices and I'll see someone tune in, like on Instagram, and I'll be like, man, I wonder if that person stayed on long enough to hear that voice. Like if that was the voice that introduced them to the show. How certain people must take in the show as we're doing all this stuff. But yeah, like the LA Lakers being sold $10 billion. You are worth what people are willing to pay for you, right? And this is the crazy thing about it. Ever since 1979, whenever Dr. Jerry Buss bought the LA Lakers, it's always been that consistency, right? Like, even though there's been issues with the Buss family, like Jeannie Buss and her brother, Jerry Buss, like, there's always been these little issues with the family. It was always like a Lakers owner owned by the Buss family. You got to be in your 50s to remember a time when the Lakers weren't owned by the Buss family. And even then, you were a small child. Like you've had to be in your 60s to remember this stuff. Almost 50 years of just Lakers ownership by the Buss family. Now they're going to be a 15% ownership group or 15% owners in this group. They're talking about how Jeannie's going to continue to run the team. All this sounds super familiar, doesn't it, Tommy? Didn't the Adelson family say that Mark Cuban was going to stay on as the governor of the team and he was going to be able to run the team and do all this stuff? And then once the sale was completed, it was like, nah, Mark Cuban's not going to be able to do any of that stuff. And he's a 20% owner in the team. The Buss family is only going to be a 15% owner in the team. But it comes down to the fact that the Buss family isn't as money rich as a lot of these other ownership groups are. Right? Like, they're kind of like Mark Davis, like the Davis family that owns the Raiders. Like, now that they're in Vegas and they've got some more stuff going their way, now the Raiders are starting to make a little more money. But whenever it's all you own, that's the only thing you own, it's hard to supplement your income. Like, you look at the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones doesn't just own the Dallas Cowboys. He's got a whole bunch of different things that he's got stake in. Whenever you look at the ownership of the New York Knicks, I had his name in the top of my head earlier. Now I can't remember his damn name. But the ownership of the New York Knicks, Jimmy Dolan, he owns like the Sphere and casinos and a bunch of different stuff like that. Like, that's how you supplement your money. In the sports world, you make the majority of your money by selling your team. And that's where That's where the LA Lakers are right now. That's where the Buss family is right now. The Buss family, and they bought it for less than what I thought they bought it for. They buy the Lakers from Jack Kent Cook in 1979 for $67.5 million. $67.5 million. Well, you've made that times 100 now? Is that what it is to get to the billion? Like, they've done that plus more. They've got a real great return on investment with the LA Lakers, buying it for $67 million in 1979 and then selling it now. And not even the whole team, just the majority stake of the team, 85% ownership of the team for $10 billion. And anytime we talk about this, it makes me wonder about these two franchises, what these two franchises would sell for. One is the New York Yankees. What would the New York Yankees sell for? And the second one is, what if the Dallas Cowboys were to go to market right now? If Jerry Jones were to say, I'm ready to sell this team, what would the Dallas Cowboys go for? Because what you're doing is you're buying the brand, right? Like that's what it comes down to. The LA Lakers, maybe the most recognizable brand in basketball. But would you say that that's a recognizable brand along with the Dallas Cowboys? And I don't think you can. I don't think it's one of those things that you can say, oh yeah, of course the Dallas Cowboys are on the same par as the LA Lakers. I was thinking the same thing about $15 billion right now to buy the brand of the Dallas Cowboys. That's what you're buying. You're buying that recognizable brand. That star on the top of the helmet, that star on the side of the helmet, that star in a hat, that's what you're buying. The ability to market that. And the return on investment for that has to be enormous. They would be the highest selling franchise in all of sports history. And that's the crazy thing about this, right? Is like Augustine mentioned it. In 2024, the Lakers were valued at $6 billion. Looking at this list, I'm bringing it up right now. Going to Forbes.com. Actually, this is USA Today, but they're using an article from Forbes. The Los Angeles Lakers, the second highest valued team in the NBA, was valued at $7.1 billion. They sell today, a year later, less than a year later, they sell for $3 billion more than what they were valued at. The New York Knicks valued at $7.5 billion. The Yankees valued at $7.55 billion. The Golden State Warriors valued at $8.8 billion. And then you have the Dallas Cowboys valued at $10.1 billion. The Lakers sold for less than what the Dallas Cowboys are valued at. And it's an insane amount of money that the Lakers just sold for. I'm surprised by this list because I see the Golden State Warriors as the second most valuable franchise in American sports right now. I would have never thought that. I am surprised to see 3 NBA teams in the top 10. And I guess this isn't just the United States. I see Real Madrid on here at number 13, so it's got to be around the world. Richie saying, I wouldn't doubt if TKO buys one of those teams. Yes, I'm exaggerating. I can see you're a fellow wrestling fan. Yes, I am. I wouldn't be. If TKO were to buy a team, it would be the Dallas Cowboys, right? You turn the Dallas Cowboys into a sideshow like you do with a lot of wrestling stuff. Of course, TKO would buy the Dallas Cowboys. They'd spend billions of dollars on buying the Dallas Cowboys. Just imagine The Rock showing up to every single Dallas Cowboys game to disappoint you because he doesn't show up to the Super Bowl. Richie saying it definitely would be the Dallas Cowboys. Of course it would be. if you're gonna enter the circus, you might as well buy the circus that is the Dallas Cowboys, right? They're a made-for-TV product. Everything about the Dallas Cowboys made-for-TV product. They were valued at $3 billion more than the LA Lakers, which to me would mean at a minimum they would sell for $13.1 billion. But there would be a world here where you can see the Dallas Cowboys being sold, and it's egregious to even say this number, but for around $15 billion. I wouldn't be surprised if it's between $15 to $20 billion. Because you don't just get the Cowboy, you get like the cheerleaders. You get the marketing arm of the Dallas Cowboys. The fact that this team has done nothing, and they're valued this high shows you something. You look at the other teams that are on here. The Rams, the Yankees, the Knicks, the Giants, the Lakers, the Jets. They're the majority of them, the Jets and the Giants, valued there because it's in New York. You're talking about a team in Dallas, in Texas, the only team in Texas. You have to go all the way down to number 18, the Houston Texans, valued at $6.1 billion, $4 billion less than the Dallas Cowboys. To find another team in Texas. Let me see if I can share this page. I want to share this page so that way we can all bask in the glory of what it is that we're looking at here. The most valuable franchises in sports. Augustine asking, how much did the Mavs sell for? If I'm not mistaken, I think they sold for $3 billion. Let me look this up. $3.5 billion. And let's not forget the Celtics. The Celtics were just sold as well at $6.1 billion. Man, Mark Cuban made a mistake selling it for that low. The next two teams that sold after Mark Cuban sells the Dallas Mavericks, the next two teams that sold wind up selling for almost double and triple what Mark Cuban sold the Dallas Mavericks for. That is wild, man. Now, granted, it's the LA Lakers and the Boston Celtics, right? Like you're buying historic franchises here. It's not the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks don't have the name or the cachet. Sorry, Tommy, that the Lakers and the Celtics have, right? Like that's recognizable sports history whenever you buy the Lakers and the Celtics. And we're talking about teams that have had recent success, recent championship success. The Celtics winning the championship last year. The Lakers winning the championship in 2020, right? Like you're buying historic right here. So maybe that's part of the reason why they're valued at that value. I'm scrolling through here now to find where the Dallas Mavericks are. They're the 42nd most valuable franchise in all of sports at $4.7 billion. Let's go over this list here. I love this, where we get to talk money in sports. And it's not about just NIL deals and things of that nature. Shout out to It's Wrestling that joined over on Instagram, Matt11258, Jolly Jex, and Heather the Bear 27 who tuned in over on Instagram. Thank you all so much for supporting the show over there. If you can, just hit that like button. Hit that heart. Hit that fire. Hell, you don't like it, hit the angry face. I'm cool with that too. The top 10 franchises. Sports evaluation. The San Francisco 49ers, $6.8 billion at number 10. The New York Jets, $6.9 billion at number 9. The LA Lakers, we just saw them sell for $10 billion, $7.1 billion on their evaluation according to Forbes. The New York Giants, $7.3 billion according to Forbes at number 7. The New England Patriots, $7.4 billion. Coming in at number 6. Number 5, the New York Knicks, $7.5 billion. The New York Yankees, $7.55 billion. The LA Rams, that's a little surprising to me as well, but it's also because of the new stadium. SoFi, a beautiful stadium. That's also something that takes into account the value of these franchises. You got to remember you're buying the stadium as well and all the stuff you can do with the stadium. AT&T Stadium in Dallas and Arlington, still one of the crown jewels of the NFL. But the Los Angeles Rams, $7.6 billion. And the Golden State Warriors, a team that has a brand new stadium as well, at $8.8 billion. And then, of course, we mentioned it, the Dallas Cowboys, $10.1 billion. Augustine saying, Jerry Jones puts brand first and team second. Okay. In the business world, he's doing a phenomenal job, right? Like, again, they're the highest valued franchise in all of sports. And if I'm not mistaken, out of all these teams here, well, I guess the Knicks and the Patriots have old stadiums. Imagine if they built a new stadium, what they would wind up being. What they would wind up being valued at. Whatever Jerry Jones is doing from an ownership standpoint is working. Whatever Jerry Jones is doing as the owner of the Dallas Cowboys is working. They're the most valuable franchise in sports, and they haven't done jack shit, sorry, Roku, in 30 years. Augustine saying, I'm not complaining. It's the coolest thing. The coolest thing is watching Cowboys fans say, it's our year. Then reality striking. LOL. Again, I find it like every team should say it's our year. Unless you're like the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Cleveland Browns or something like that. You should come in with hope. I don't think I've ever said this is our year. I'm one of those superstitious type of people. But why not have faith? Why not have a little bit of hope? Why not have positivity? Right? Like it's so easy to be negative and be like, oh, this team's going to suck. I'm guilty of that. How early on, how many times have you guys seen me on the roller coaster, riding up and down on this roller coaster of the Dallas Cowboys can be 17-0 or they can be 0-17 because of the Dallas Cowboys, and I don't trust this coaching staff. I'm looking for one thing out of this Dallas Cowboys coaching staff. And I have to see what the season's going to be before I'm able to say, okay, the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff has given me what I want. Maybe it's in game 1. Maybe we watch game 1 and we see how they handle Philadelphia. And during that game 1, I can say the Dallas Cowboys gave me exactly what I wanted. The exact same way that I give you just the tip.
I just want to put the tip in.
It's time for
Just the Tip.
That would make me uncomfortable.
Promise that it ain't too much, but just enough. Just a tip. Just a tip.
Just the tip? Just the tip.
It's time for Just the Tip.
Just the Tip is brought to you by our friends over at www.myhappynuts.com. That's www.myhappynuts.com. They have the whole body deodorant. They have the comfort cream, the anti-chafe stick, everything you need for your male grooming needs. Guys, that whole body deodorant smells great. It is fantastic. It's made with aloe. It keeps me nice and fresh. My pits aren't all sweaty. The whole body deodorant is what you need if you want to smell your best over this hot and muggy ass summer that we know we're going to have here in the city of El Paso. It was 147,000 degrees outside yesterday, and I felt nice and fresh because I had on my Happy Nuts comfort cream and I was using the My Happy Nuts whole body deodorant. Do the same. Be like me. Take care of your boys. Make sure your nuts are as happy as my nuts with www.myhappynuts.com. Use promo code Mike Tipton at checkout and save on all of your male grooming needs. Augustine going on to say, I'm a realist. If it all continues 3 years and the Patriots are back in the playoffs, I would say this year. I'm a firm believer in thinking that the Patriots are going to make the playoffs this season. I don't see why you would kind of discount this team. Like, I get it. They were somewhat bad, but they lost a lot of close games. I still think that they're going to be in the hunt for the playoffs. I think they're going to be the second best team in the AFC East. I can't see Miami being better than them. I don't see the Jets being better than them. Augustine saying, I think we're still a season away. I think they can be a wild card team. Like I can really picture the Patriots being like number 6 or number 7 getting into the playoffs. I don't think they're going to win the division by any means. God, no. But I like what the Patriots have done. They spent a lot of money on pieces that they needed. And they went out and they had themselves a great draft. Plus, Mike Vrabel bringing in that Patriots mentality. You're talking about that right here. Yes, and winning is a mentality. And the culture has changed since Bill left. But Vrabel is a Belichick guy, right? And we saw that he had success in Tennessee. I think a big mistake Tennessee made was letting Mike Vrabel walk away. I kind of like the odds of the Patriots this year. I genuinely do. Better than I like the odds of the Cleveland Browns. I'll give you that much. We were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, right? Like whenever Shedeur Sanders had his slide down. And then Bo Crouch and I were talking about this maybe 2 weeks ago when it came to Joe Flacco mentoring the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns are going to be fun to watch just because you're watching the train wreck, right? Like everyone loves to watch the train wreck. But whenever Shedeur Sanders had his slide, we all kind of sat back and said to ourselves, maybe this is going to be the moment where he matures a little bit. Just a little bit. It'll do something, right? Like maybe it sparks something with Shedeur Sanders. Augustine saying, oh yeah, huge mistake. But it takes that time to go back into excellence that was the last 25 years. I think the Patriots will be okay. I genuinely do. I like Mike Vrabel as a coach. I think that they'll be okay. And then you get the news after saying, okay, maybe Shedeur is going to mature. He has to, right? Like that has to be some sort of a wake-up call for Shedeur Sanders. Falling that far in the draft, it's got to be a wake-up call. And he seemed to be doing okay for the most part. But then you get this thing that pops up on the news yesterday. Cleveland Brown rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders was cited by the police early Tuesday morning for driving 101 miles an hour, according to police records. An officer for the Strongville, Ohio Police Department stopped Sanders at 12:24 a.m. for driving 41 miles an hour over the posted 60-mile-an-hour speed limit in a black Dodge TRX truck, according to records. Sanders, 23 years old, a projected first-round pick who was selected by the Browns after falling to the fifth round in this year's draft, must either pay a $250 fine for the fourth-degree misdemeanor or fight the ticket in Strongville mayor's courts on July 3rd. Sanders has participated in the Browns' mandatory minicamp last week. He remains in Cleveland along with other rookies for an orientation, according to Cleveland.com. I get it, dude. I was young. I like to drive fast. I've been there. But if you're Shedeur Sanders, you're a fifth-round pick, dude. You're this close to playing in the UFL. You were supposed to be a first-round draft pick, and it was your attitude, your immaturity, to all the records that are out there, the Giants, the Steelers, all these teams that met with you, that said it was your level of immaturity that cost you being a first-round draft pick, that cost you having some sort of value to your team, that winds up being the reason why you fall all the way down to the 5th round. Augustine saying he's already getting into trouble. That's going to be a bust. Simple. I'm still. Can you call a 5th round draft pick a bust? Because that's easy to move away from. If I'm the Cleveland Browns, I'm waiting for any one of these quarterbacks to make a mistake. You are you are lucky to be drafted in the first place. It took Jimmy Haslam being convinced by 47 that you're worth the pick in order to get you drafted. You better keep your nose as clean as possible, my guy, in order to make sure you're going to be on an NFL roster, because a 5th round pick can be let go like that. There is no value in holding on to a 5th round pick, especially if your 5th round pick is going to bring the circus around you. We were talking about the Dallas Cowboys being the circus. Why not get TKO, the wrestling ownership group now? Why not get them to just sponsor everything that Shedeur Sanders does? It's insane to me. It really is. And again, I'm not one of these dudes that's like, oh, don't go out there and speed. But if you already know that you've got the target on your back of this dude's super immature, why wouldn't you wait just a little bit? Wait till you get a contract. Wait till you do any of that stuff. I get it. The truck is awesome. I wanted to buy a Dodge TRX. I think they're badass trucks. I like going fast. I don't all the time. I have a Ford Mustang GT convertible, and I like knowing that I can go fast if I need to. I'm at that age right now, right? I take the top off. I'm cruising at 60 miles an hour. I'm having a good time. I like knowing I can go fast. I just don't all the time. If you're Shedeur Sanders, you got to be smarter than this. You're a 5th round draft pick. There is no, oh, we got to hold on to this guy because we spent so much to get him. You're the 5th quarterback on the roster. And I say that with all the intent that's out there, because it's the starting quarterback that was there last year. Deshaun Watson is going to be number 1 on the depth chart just because of the amount of money that's owed to him. Then you go out and you traded for Kenny Pickett. So you traded value to get Kenny Pickett. You paid Joe Flacco so that he can be there. You drafted Dylan Gabriel 2 rounds ahead of the time that you drafted Shedeur Sanders. You're the 5th quarterback on the roster. Number 5. It's easy to move away from a 5th round draft pick when they're the 5th option on the roster, and you have a rookie quarterback, and you have a couple of veterans that can be there to help guide this rookie quarterback. You got to find some way, if you're Shedeur Sanders, some way to not be an ass. Shiloh's getting blown up on social media all the time because he's making fun of Coach Prime. He's doing fun stuff. Shiloh's over here having fun. He's got zero pressure on him. All the pressure's on Shedeur Sanders. Augustine said it a couple of days ago. Pressure is a privilege. You've got to be able to live up to that pressure. My guy, if you're giving teams time and time again an excuse to get rid of you, they will. You were lucky to be drafted. Again, Jimmy Haslam was reading Twitter feeds, Truth Social feeds, and decided, you know what? I'm going to force the team to draft Shedeur Sanders here. And they probably could have drafted him in the 7th round. That's really the way it was going for Shedeur Sanders. You've got to keep pristine. You cannot give this team a reason to get rid of you. Driving 101 miles an hour? Again, I like driving fast, especially back then. I used to like driving fast. But you're trying to make an NFL roster right now. Be smart. That's all it comes down to. Be smart. Got my Buc-ee's cup. Sipping out of my Buc-ee's cup. Oh, I got heated there. I probably shouldn't have gotten heated. It's got nothing to do with it. Like, it's not even my team. But here I am. Heated on behalf of the Cleveland Browns. Remember, y'all, the tipping point with my Tipton, we have ourselves a brand new sponsor. It is Crushed Peanuts, 9 grams of protein to start your day, enhance your workout, or maybe you just want a quick, affordable snack. It's made with real peanuts, powdered sugar, and cookie wafers, just 310 calories. No additives, no preservatives, none of that nonsense. Crushed Peanuts, the best perfect snack or supplement that you need to crush your day. Check them out at local Chevrons, at local Valeros. Easy snack. It's absolutely delicious. Crushed Peanuts, once again, is where you want to go. Crushedpeanuts.com is the website. Augustine saying, you'll take the tip off? Please, no. I'm not taking the tip off. That's a bit much. You take the top off. I get it. It was a typo. The O is right next to the I. I get it. I'm hoping that you're saying I was taking the top off. Definitely not taking the tip off. It's already happened once. I wonder how many people are going to get that joke. That's an inside one right there. I'm not going to explain it. It's not a funny joke if you have to explain it, Tip. Let's check out some other stuff that's going on here. Anything in the news worth talking about before we get to the NBA Finals? And I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything in the news worth talking about. Sure, you have a draft prospect canceling a visit with the 76ers. Stuff like that happens all the time. All the time. I'm making it seem like it happens every single season. But you do have draft picks that cancel workouts with specific teams because they just don't think that they're going to be picked that late. Looking at the odds makers here, the Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the Indiana Pacers here in Indiana. The Thunder with a chance. The Thunder have a chance to solidify themselves and win the championship. Augustine saying, you got snipped? Of course. Someone got the joke. I'm glad. One person did. The Thunder right now a 6.5-point favorite over the Indiana Pacers. Did I say war? Did I mention anything about war? Now you got me questioning myself, Augustine. What brought on that comment? What is it good for? The Oklahoma City Thunder, 6.5-point favorites over the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers at home. The matchup predictor on ESPN, according to their analytics, has the Oklahoma City Thunder a 56.4% win percentage over the Indiana Pacers. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander averaging 32.7 points a game, leading the way for the Oklahoma City Thunder, shooting 51.9% from the field, 89.8% from the free throw line. Isaiah Hartenstein leading the way in rebounds for the for the Oklahoma City Thunder, 10.7 rebounds per game so far in the NBA Finals. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander leading the Pacers in assists at 6.4 assists per game. Pascal Siakam leading the way in points and rebounds for the Indiana Pacers, averaging 20.2 points a game and 6.7 rebounds a game. Tyrese Halliburton averaging 9.2 assists per game. Augustine said, you said anything happening in the news? That's the question that he was referring to. Me, yeah, is anything happening in the news? I should have said the world of sports. I shouldn't have said news. I should have said the world of sports. You're right, Augustine. I got a ton of opinions there. This isn't the platform for that, though. Tyrese Halliburton, 9.2 points per game, or 9.2 assists per game. He is the heart and soul of this Indiana Pacers team. I haven't seen anything. I'm going to click on him here. Let's see if we got any updates. he is questionable for today's game. He's more than likely going to play, is Tyrese Halliburton. But if he struggles, how soon do you move on from Tyrese Halliburton and bring in TJ McConnell to basically run the offense the entire time? I'm thinking Oklahoma City is going to win this game. I know the spread is 6.5 points. I'm going with Oklahoma City to win this game by more than 6.5 points. Shout out to Mama Bear 200 who tuned in over on Instagram. Thank you so much for being a part of today's show. If Tyrese Halliburton isn't 100%, the Indiana Pacers have no shot. And there's no way in hell that he's 100% given the calf injury that he has right now. And the reason why I'm cautious, if I'm the Indiana Pacers with this calf injury, is the fact that you've really got to take your time with it. We saw the Golden State Warriors rush Kevin Durant back and play in the NBA Finals with a strained calf that winds up rupturing his Achilles. We've seen the calf injury lead to an Achilles injury in the NBA a ton of times. Would you rather him just sit out this next game or the next two games if you are, by some miracle of God, able to force a Game 7 and lose in the NBA Finals? Or would you have him come back, get hurt, lose in the NBA Finals, and potentially lose Tyrese Halliburton for all of next season with an Achilles injury? And I'm asking you guys, as the people that are watching, the people that are a part of the show, the commenters, all that out there, what would you do? Are you going to sit there and be like, you know what? Yeah. Let's get Tyrese Halliburton. Let's have him come in and play. Or are you going to try to sit him? I know it's the NBA Finals, and he said if he can walk, he's going to be out there. And that's what makes it such a tough decision, right? Is even if he can walk, what percentage is he? If he's 80%, maybe. You know he's not going to be 100%. You saw the way that he was kind of having a hard time moving around earlier in the season. I get it. He's a young dude. Maybe he bounces back. Maybe you give him a little cortisone shot, and he'll be fine in the first half. Give him another cortisone shot at halftime. He'll be fine there. Maybe that's what you do. But if you've seen in the NBA a handful of times, because that's what happened with Jason Tatum as well, strained calf winds up leading to ruptured Achilles. Do you risk it? It's the NBA Finals. If there's a time and a place for you to risk it, it's the NBA Finals. But do you really risk it right now with Tyrese Halliburton in this team? If I'm the Indiana Pacers, I'm sitting him. I know it's a difficult thing to do. But you've got to have faith in the next man up. You go so deep in your roster. The Pacers, just like the Oklahoma City Thunder, go super deep in their roster. You cannot risk losing Tyrese Halliburton long term for the short term game right now. You wouldn't be in this position without him. You give him the love, the respect, all that he deserves for being able to get your team where your team is now. But you have to sit him. If he's not near 80% or higher, you have to sit him, because the long-term effect is worse than the short-term gain. And I know the short-term gain is crazy because we're talking about winning the damn NBA championship. But why would you, like, if he winds up going down in the first quarter of this game with a ruptured Achilles, the entire arena, everything, even if he doesn't get, like even if it's not a terrible injury, if he just goes down at the beginning of the game, the energy in that entire stadium is going to be sucked out. I think I've said this story a couple of times. I remember going to the Dallas Cowboys game in 2015 whenever they played the Carolina Panthers on Thanksgiving. And the energy in that stadium, even though the Dallas Cowboys were down, the energy in that stadium was so high. Tony Romo was there. Des Bryant was there. Like you're expecting something great. Like there's always the possibility of a comeback. The energy was there. Tony Romo gets hit in the backfield. You see him kind of laying face first on the turf, and he just pounds his fist into the turf because he knew he was injured. And you felt 110,000 people silent. The conversation that was happening up in the 400s, you can hear down in the 100s. That's how quiet that stadium got whenever Tony Romo got hurt. That was a Thanksgiving game with zero stakes on the line. Imagine what it's going to be like if you watch your star player get hurt in the first quarter or so, at any point in this game, really, in the NBA Finals. The energy in that stadium is a real thing. The home court advantage thing is a real thing. Shout out to Michael Harris, who tuned in over on Instagram as well. Thank you so much. Please like, share, do all that good stuff. Imagine how that stadium gets if Tyrese Halliburton goes down. Even if it's not like a catastrophic injury, just if Tyrese Halliburton goes down and cannot play. You'd rather try to keep the energy up by going off of like a fan favorite in TJ McConnell. Maybe you switch their positions. Maybe Tyrese Halliburton comes off the bench. All I'm saying is if he plays, he cannot play the majority of this game. And you have to try to protect him as much as possible. Because that's really the fan support is really what's helped you out here. The Oklahoma City Thunder are going to come out guns a-blazing to try to put this game away right away. You already have to worry about that if you're the crowd. It's kind of like watching the Miami Dolphins, right? Anytime Tua takes a hit, every single one of us watching the Miami Dolphins, we're like, ooh, is that the one? Oh, man. That's how we are with Tua. That's how we're going to be watching Tyrese Halliburton. Whenever he takes off running, man, that didn't look good. Whenever he lands from getting a rebound, ooh, is he okay? That's how everyone's going to be watching that game. It's going to take its toll over the 48 minutes of play on the court and with the fans, unless Tyrese Halliburton comes out and is just bombs away, guns a-blazing, just like Oklahoma City. The Indiana Pacers are going to have to withstand the first quarter, a bombardment from the Oklahoma City Thunder. You have to be 100%. You have to be fighting fire with fire. The best lineup you can give them is what you need to do. If I'm the Indiana Pacers, I'm not letting Tyrese Halliburton on that floor. Not unless, like, I really, really need him. I'm starting TJ McConnell. I'm seeing how TJ does in the first half, and we're going to go from there. It's going to be an interesting game, though. Game 6 of the NBA Finals happening tonight. I really want this series to go 7. I just don't see it going 7. We finally had to capitulate and give Oklahoma City their love. Everyone had Oklahoma City winning in 4 or 5. Game 6 looks like this is where it's going to come to an end for the Cinderella story of the Indiana Pacers. It shouldn't take anything away. It was a fun NBA final. It was a lot of fun to watch this team. Shout out to Sports Around the 915 tuning in over on Instagram. But the end of the road is right in front of us here. As much as I want a Game 7, I can't predict the Game 7. Not with an injured Tyrese Halliburton. If he was healthy, I would say we're getting a Game 7. But since he's not healthy, the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to go into Indiana tonight and hoist up the Larry O'Brien Trophy as the champions of the NBA. A dominating season for this team, taking nothing away from the Indiana Pacers. They put up a hell of a fight. They put up more of a fight than I think all of us would have predicted the Indiana Pacers doing. The amount of people, myself included, that thought this was going to be a short, boring series were wrong. I was wrong. Pacers, you put up a hell of a fight. The end of the road, though, is today. Sports Around the 915 over on Instagram saying OKC has this. Yeah, they're the healthy team right now. It's so hard to beat Oklahoma City whenever you're 100% that if you're not 100%, it's even more monumental of a task. But tomorrow here on the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, my guy Augustine joins me. We will be celebrating, at least maybe, we'll be celebrating the Oklahoma City Thunder as the NBA champion. All right, everybody, I want to thank you so much for being a part of today's show. I hope that you all have yourself a great Juneteenth. Thank you for tuning in, though, on this Juneteenth, whether you had the day off or not. I appreciate you tuning in. I wasn't expecting anybody to be here. I thought it was just going to be me talking into the void, into the abyss. Thank you for being a part of today's show. We will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.